Hello, welcome to the Underground channel. Just waiting to see if anybody pops in. Haven't been on for a while, so I'll just kind of go with the flow. Right now, um, in my van where I made a slide out, pop out bed and a fold up couch, turning this into a stealth camper. So, hi, who are you? I'll say hi in chat. Yep, chat's working. Is that you, Steven? Letitia or Lisa? Not talking too much, huh? I'm just popping in here to see if anybody's popping in. It's kind of late. I sleeping out in the first time in my stealth camper that I'm building in my camp van. And I don't know why my light ain't turning off. But I'm talking about my dome light. It's still on. But anyways, just checking things out, seeing if anybody's popping in. It's been a few nights since I've been on. And it don't look like too many people's coming in here. So I will light up. So you got any questions, whoever you are? It's almost like a person comes in here and they don't say nothing. It's like secret admirer. But basically, I'm just testing the system out because I'm using my phone to jump onto the Wi-Fi, since how the Wi-Fi that have been governing me down because of the type of videos I've been putting up. They sent me a nasty message that they're sent a URL or that my server's been notified. I forget what the message says really, but yeah, they keep doing that on certain videos that pop up. Well, I'll give it about a couple minutes, see if anybody pops in here or not. I just wanted to see if this hot box on my phone would work, and it seems like it's working better than the Spectrum Wi-Fi that I'm supposed to be getting 100 megs speed, and I'm not, but I'm getting 50 out of the phone, which is faster than my 100 megs because they got me cut down to 7 megs. So I guess I'll have to be looking for a new Wi-Fi. People's Spectrum is really messing with me. They started doing that on that one video with the Walmart I put up. Then I had to take it down, or they were going to take it down. So I took it down and edited it and took the actual Walmart out of it, but I still filmed the antennas all the way around it. So far, it looks like I passed the 30-day appeal process. So they ain't took that video down since I took the Walmart out of it, cut it out. Somebody's getting touchy. So, well, I really didn't premiere this to let anybody know that I was going to be on tonight. Like I said, I was just testing the system. I'm playing with junk, trying to keep live, and they keep governing me down. So, and I'm supposed to get 50 megs from Sprint, which looks like I'm probably there. So, I'm at 47 megs. That's pretty good. Anything over 20 is good. So, I guess I'll just end this. Ain't nobody popping in. Maybe the next time I'll put it up at premiere a couple hours early so everybody knows I'm going to be on. It's kind of late at night. So I got my slider bed out so that the whole van will, I have the whole still inside of the van. Tomorrow I'm putting in the inverter and electrics. So I have 110 and then I found me a couple of good 200-watt solar panels. I'll mount them on top, and then I'll work on my batteries, my lithium batteries, and I need about 8 of them. So because I run 220, I'm looking for a cargo trailer to pull, and this will be my house. Then I can go to Walmarts anywhere I want in the United States. I'm there, open up this country, and then I will go investigate these Walmarts myself and not depend on so much of other people sending me links and videos like that first Walmart that I videoed back in 2016. And that video sit there since 2016, and they never ever said anything about my video until about 3 months ago. And then basically they said, take it down or we'll take it down. So I took it down, redid it, and had to start it and put it back up new this year. And they haven't really messed with it. And when I took it down the first time 3 months ago to take out the Walmart out of it, I had about 400 subscribers on that one video and 32,000 views. So I had to scratch it and start over. But the views is coming up. I think I'm around 6,000 views on that one video. But with all my other videos I put up, my views have shot up over 60 some, I think about 65,000 views. So as soon as I get the van all stealthed up, it'll look stealth because it looks like a construction van on the outside, but on the inside, like this bed. I don't know if I can take my camera off and show you guys. You want to see it? If I can get the light to shine up there. Oh, I know what I got. Hold on a second. I'll show you what I built. This might give you some ideas if you got a van. Yep, that works. So let me put my cigarette down and grab this cam and I'll show you guys. Okay, you can see let me go slow. You can see this construction on that wall there. I'm putting a 50-inch screen TV because I ain't leaving without my TV. I'm telling you, I gotta have my TV and I gotta have my Pepsi. But let me see if I can. This is going outside, so I got these sliders built. If I can aim it right, these are the sliders, and the bed slides in, and I can either sleep on it inside, and I got storage under bottom, and then what I'm sitting on right now is a pop-up couch that goes under the bed. So when I slide it out, I can pop one of these cushions. It's got the straps. I don't know if I can aim it right. This camera is not like a GoPro, but I got strap there. I got straps, and then when I slide the bed out, I can put the top cushion up and make the full bed. And when I'm not using the bed, she uses the bed, but I can use the back cushion and it turns into the couch, which I'm sitting on. But right now I got her laying on the floor if I can show you. This camera is really fast. That's my puppy. Her name is Little Ann. She lives with me, and she's part Australian sheepdog, and I think she might have a little bit of bulldog in her. Let me. I'll show you the whole floor there. See, I still got the whole van to put furniture in. Tomorrow I'm putting in the inverter and wiring up all the 110 electric and the water tank and my sink. Give me a second. I think it's, I don't know why this camera makes my head look so big. So I actually have to go far away. I've tried to adjust it, but it's just a cheap Walmart camera. And there you can only see my eyes. Let me get it down a little bit more. There. There's my ugly mug. But like I said, I haven't been on it tonight. I just doing the live show here. I'm streaming just to see if when I'm out on the road and I'm going to Walmart's and I'm trying to get this Geiger counter to show people how much radiation is coming. And I want to go, I might do that tomorrow. They just put a 5G up about 3 miles from me. I can see it from here, but not now. And it looks like they put it on the top of a water tower. And I think they turned it on yesterday because I got all kinds of birds that just fell out of the sky and died since they turned that on. They're all over my yard. And that's bad. I can't be having that. So I might try to protest that. I'm trying to straighten up my camera. So I'm getting ready to make this stealth camper so I don't look so conspicuous, or however you say that word, like I did when I was at the first Walmart living in a tent with a bunch of other homeless people. We called it Tent City because it was actually a city. 250 people was in that woods. And when they put that the first 5G antenna, we didn't know what it was. It just looked like something that was out of a movie. That's what it looked like, because it would rotate in circles. And then one night we saw it rotating, and we couldn't figure out why. And I'd say about 10 minutes after they turned that thing on, rats was all over the city, as you can imagine, and around Walmarts and the trash dumpsters and everything. And those rats made a beeline, and we could hear them coming. It was like, you ever seen that movie called Birds back in 1968, I think it was, or 1969? That movie where the birds started attacking people. It was kind of like that, only the rats didn't attack us. They just, I mean, thousands of rats just went through the tent city, going through the woods, trying to get away because they turned that antenna on. And we couldn't figure out why. The next thing I noticed was I was sleeping and everybody was getting up, trying to wake everybody up in their tents. Hey, you got any Tylenol? You got any Excedrin? When I woke up, I had a freaking migraine headache in the back of my head, and I couldn't stand it. So that's probably why everybody was asking for Tylenols that night and any kind of headache pill. And I was one of them. I got to admit, I had a really bad migraine headache. But I was lucky. I got a job, and the next day I went for my interview, and It was for a different company, but for the same place I used to work for. Before I got homeless for that time, a little bit of spell. And I worked at the convention center for Lou Ferrigno, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Linda Blair. The Hoblets came. I don't know all their names, but in the movie it was called Hoblets or something like that. Every time they had a conventional book signing or comic book thing, I was the one that did the hydraulics and staging. But except for Arnold Schwarzenegger, I was more security then, not so much setup. But another company got went in there and got the job or the contract. So I went to that temp service and got back into the convention center and started the job. Made a little bit of money, and then I made a beeline from the city I was living in to where I'm at now, and thought I was getting away from those antennas. Right back there. I don't want to take the camera off, but I'm gonna either today or tomorrow, I'm gonna go over there and video it and see what's up. There's a water tower right behind me, and it looks like a gigantic 5G antenna on top of it now, or it could be behind the water tower, and I'm just getting that optical illusion from right here. But the antenna is so tall that the red light that blinking on top of it is actually 30, maybe 40 feet taller than the water tower. I can see it from right here. And tonight's the first night I've seen that top blinking light. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't read that. I didn't see that. Hey, Dustin, how are you doing? Nice to meet you. I hope you subscribe. And if you do, I'll subscribe to your channel. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers again, which I used to have until YouTube knocked me off. And now I'm back up to like 680 subscribers. So I'm hoping YouTube don't knock me off again. I don't care. I'm not afraid to put these videos up. How long you been in here, Dustin? I just now saw you on the live chat. I just noticed that light blinks a lot more faster on the 5G antenna than it is the water tower. Okay, Dustin, this I gotta tell the truth. This is the first time I've seen your name. If you already subscribed, I'm not seeing you in my subscribers list, but when I do, I'll come and subscribe to your channel. And another thing is, when we do videos, YouTube got that new algorithm and governor that is designed to keep the little guys, little YouTubers off. And they've been doing that since they knocked us off the last time over that scam of so-called broken Fire Sticks. And I was one of the ones that all those resellers were fighting me. And YouTube knocked everybody off. And Amazon knocked everybody off. So I had to start all over. And I got disheartened. So a few years, I just let it go. And here recently, since 2016, I've started back up slowly but surely. But my content was mostly like building teardrop campers and custom campers. and because I used to do that at a factory, and now I'm doing it for myself. And Walmarts. I got a thing about Walmarts now. I don't even like shopping at Walmart after I learned what they did. And it's really nice to meet you. And I hope to see more of you. And if not, now that I got your picture on here, I can click on your picture and go directly to your channel. But as I was saying, when they knocked us all off, this new governor means when you put your videos up now, everybody knows to click public if you want people to see them. Or if you want to keep it private and secret, only the people that you give the URL can watch those videos. Now, that's a good thing. I like that because now I can hide my videos and go back to the old-fashioned programming of HTML, and I can embed it if I get some equipment. I'm on junk right now, but I grew up with computers starting back in 1977 when they came out with the first computer, and that was hardcore. And then the 486s, and then we went online. And then with your channel, where all your videos are, your main channel page, that also has to be put in private, or if you subscribe to somebody, it don't come on our list. We don't see it. So you might want to put your, if you want to, you might want to put your cover page in public view too. And that's what I had to do so people could see me, depending if that's what you are wanting to do with your channel to get more subscribers. And a lot of my subscribers on my channel, we kind of formed a little club. I got 2 clubs going. Let me show you. I don't know if you can see it, but you see my shirt? Just like on my intros I make. You see them on all my intros now? That's an identification shirt in case they turn off the internet, which they could do, you know, if this gets out of the hand with this lockup system, because the Democrats and the governments are trying to get control of the population. So that's what this is all about, using that coronavirus scam thing. I'm not saying it's not real. It is real. But the numbers they're giving to you on the TV is way out of there. Or aren't. I can't remember the exact name for that virus. I caught that back in 2010, that HN1 virus. And it's nothing to play with. So I don't think the coronavirus is nothing to play with. I just think the numbers that they're telling us on TV is out of there, because that coronavirus already this year, since January 1st until now, has killed over close to 6,000 people. And that's nowhere around the United States with the coronavirus. So I put up some videos of nurses and doctors talking about that, and that they're lying on TV. And with the medical training that I've had in the military and other schools, they're telling you that this virus can live on a surface for 5 days. When they said that on TV, this is an expert telling people on TV the virus can live on a surface for 5 days. If that was true, Ebola and AIDS would have done killed the whole world's population. So, anybody else in here want to change the subject or talk about the subject or anything? There's 4 of us in here. Oh, I got 1 thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. As soon as I get this van done, like I was telling you before, I want to go and report these things right there when I'm there. So until they do something to me, I'm just an old fart, so they can do whatever they want. So I'm wanting to get me a tripod that will hold a green screen and do I don't know if y'all ever watch Bob on YouTube where he does where like I'm building a stealth van and stuff. He goes around and videos people who does the same thing that I'm doing. And he's really good at what he does. And I can't wait till he sees my van. So I'll probably have to go all the way down to Arizona, which I want to go there because of a Walmart that's got these plastic coffins stacked up there. And the first video I had of that, they took it off. And I want to go back down there. And I ain't been down there. Somebody sent me that video. And I put it up. And they took it off. Maybe you guys saw that about 2 months ago. They took it off. I was getting a lot of views on that. I think I got up to like 90,000 views in 3 days showing those coffins at that Walmart. And then last month, get this, last month, Walmart got investigated by a state senator. And they threw him off the property, a state senator. And so anyways, after that publicity came out, you know what Walmart does? They start selling real coffins to cover up the mass, I don't know what you'd call it, mass death coffins. They can put 3 bodies in each one, and they're made out of plastic. But Walmart came and made a statement that these are real coffins, and they're selling them now. Go to Walmart, click on their search thing, and put coffin on there. They'll show you all kinds of coffins now. That's what they did to misdirect and make people think that they're selling real coffins when they had millions of those plastic coffins sitting out there for almost a year. Now I'm going to go down there and video that again. The last guy that did it, they ain't heard from him since then, that was able to get inside the Walmart and video it. And somebody stole the guillotine from that Walmart and took it to a little town and put the guillotine on top of a courthouse. And when the news went there and the people were complaining about it, they got some sap to say, that's art and everything. The news video is still up. And I think I even pre-recorded that news video and put it back up. And it's on one of my, I think it's on my series. If you see my series video, you can see that. A real, not the coffin on it, a real guillotine on top of a courthouse. Somebody put up there. And so they got somebody to say, I'll put that up there for art. How can a guillotine be an art? A real guillotine. Well, I don't see any more live chat going on, and sometimes I don't know what to say. Nobody's chatting, so we can't. Oh, okay, I got another one. Yeah, I heard about that West Virginia. I don't know if it was Buchanan, Parkersburg. Was it Parkersburg? I have a mountain in West Virginia. It's called Hodom Mountain, and if you want to look it up, it's about 15 miles from I can't talk right because of the stroke. Webster Springs and Diana. Diana is at the holler of the mountain where I have my family owns a mountain down there called Hodom Mountain. Then you got, I think it's the 3rd highest, Walton's Mountain, then Point Mountain. I think Point Mountain's the highest in West Virginia. Oh, small town? Okay. I don't even think I've heard of that town. Is that around Buchanan? Okay, you're at the end of the Blue Ridge, right? Or the Magnolia Forest? The mountain that my family owns is right dab smack in the middle of nowhere. Magnolia Forest is what they call it. Well, so we're like brothers. We're hillbillies. Yeah, I love that country. That's my favorite state is West Virginia. And it's a tie between Alaska and West Virginia because I like Alaska too. And after the Holocaust, some of my family that came to the United States, some went to West Virginia, some went to Alaska, and then a mountain down there was called Aries Mountain that had a town. A whole town was there until the 68, maybe 67. The big earthquake killed all those miners, and like 200 miners, if I remember right. But that's my two favorite spots in the United States. My eyes are bad, so I have to get way up there to see that little itty bitty print. And on my last stroke, it pretty well much did my left eye in. And my left shoulder still hasn't came out of it. It's still so stiff. Yeah, West Virginia. Excuse me. That's not the coronavirus. So, yeah, they didn't have cell phones when I was there last. I was probably about 20, 21. See, my first marriage was from a woman in West Virginia, and she was from Diana. And uh, they didn't have cell phones or anything. If we wanted to text a girl, what we did was we wrote a note, rolled it up, tied a string around it, and a rock, and then we threw it through her window upstairs so she could read the text. That was about the modern texting back then. And then I would be mowing yard for about 2 months to pay for the window. But that's how we text. Remember those days? But I've lived through a lot of history since 1961. And this technology in the last 40 years has exploded. It's amazing. If we would have had just a cell phone back then, could you imagine the kind of world we would be in right now? It'd be like that movie, Back to the Future. But we got other people popping in, so maybe we better get back on the main subject. So, excuse me. I used to be a cleaner. Kind of like on TV. You know what a cleaner is? Anybody know what a cleaner is? Well, I did homicide cars because I was a detailer and I had a business in the city I lived in, and I started it myself. And then on homicide cars, you got to use certain chemicals, and you got to placard the car and everything, and you got to encase it with 6 mil plastic and seal it. And when you spray it with chemicals before you can go in and actually clean the car, that's what I did. I cleaned cars for about depending how bad they were, between $500 and $800 a car on homicide cars. So I went and bought filters for my respirator, and the clerk or store manager from Lowe's got me the wrong filters, and I burnt my throat out with some really mean acid. And the doctor told me it could take up to 5 years for it to heal. And then smoking isn't helping it. But according to the doctor, he said it would start itching and stuff when it decides to heal the lining in my throat. And that could take 3 or 4 years, as bad as I burnt my throat. And so I figure add a couple of more years because I do smoke. And if I don't, I smoke so that I don't really go up and try to strangle somebody that really deserves it. It's getting in my face. Keeps me calm. That's just joking. Well, if it's still empty, that's a good thing. But if it's beside a railroad tracks by any means, um, it might not be empty for very long, the way they're popping these Walmarts up. And like almost overnight, they turn them into like little prisons. Um, there's a few people that are starting to put them back up again and videoing them and going to great risk. Um, I put one up that just opened up in Cincinnati, Ohio. And the guy that was videoing it, when they put the prison wire all around it, they didn't just do that Walmart. They did several other buildings in that area, probably because Cincinnati's bigger. And he was showing the camera. They were in behind the tree, little bushes and stuff, following him and watching him. I put that video up. It's still up. They haven't taken it down. Go watch that. So I don't know why they're doing this to all the Walmarts, and not just Walmarts. I think it's West Virginia. There's a convention center somewhere that they shut it down, and it looks like a prison, but I think they just activated it to make it like a makeshift hospital or something. I'm not sure. I keep my throat wet. I wish I could find some easy way to stop smoking. Not easy. Now that's scary. Keep an eye on that. Whenever you're around there, I know it's probably a long ways from you, because on my mountain, the closest town was Webster Springs, and the only thing they really had there was a McDonald's back then. And if we wanted to go to back then in them days, it wasn't Walmart; it was always Kmart. and that was in Buchanan, and that was like a hour and a half to 2 hour drive just to get there from Webster Springs. Well, that's scary. I bet you the way they're changing all these Walmarts all over the United States, unless there's something drastically wrong with the building, chances are they might convert that to, because FEMA is taking over all the empty Walmarts. That's a good little distance. And probably to get there, you got to go like this on the roads. It's not straight, is it? My first wife, we ran off the elope to the elope capital of the world. And it's all winding around the mountains and everything. She'd never been out of the mountains in her life. We get out and we get almost to, I think it was Baltimore, Maryland. And she sees this light in the sky, and she goes, "Wow, that's a pretty high mountain. That car way up there." And it was an airplane. She'd never been out of the mountains. Yeah, curvy. You're going this way and this way. When you do get on a straight road, you're having to fight your wheel to stay straight. I've done that. I went to Cowan Botech nursing school. Then I went to D&E University for to become a RN. I was young back then. But like I was telling everybody in the beginning, I was just popping this up because Spectrum sent me a server note or something, and I guess I was uploading too many videos to YouTube, so they brought me down to about less than 10 megs. So I'm on here now using my hotbox on my phone, and I better see how much. Ooh, 18%. So and this is working good. I don't think my video is cutting in and out or stuttering, is it? Is my video working good, guys? I'm plugging my phone in because I forgot to charge it up for the last couple of days. It only takes about 10 minutes to charge it. And I'm down to 18%. And then it'll last a couple of days before I have to charge it again. The only time it really uses a lot is when I'm on video with my family. All my family lives in the Philippines. And maybe you all know about my videos. They won't let me have a visa because I owe the government $31,000. And they won't let me have my visa to be with my family until I pay that off. And a lot of it was a school loan. And the trucking company that I went with was called Builders Transport, and they went belly up, left me with the big fat bill when they were supposed to pay it. Okay, I'm glad it's doing good. I get 50 megs every month, so at least I know when I'm out on the road and going out and videoing these 5G antennas. I'm trying to get the equipment, a Geiger counter, and a frequency splitter counter. The frequency splitter counter is about $1,000. And I want one really bad, because then I can not only just measure the frequency, I can see what megahertz it's putting out, and then I will align it and tone it up with the frequencies that your brain puts out or receives. Yeah, like your synapse and your hippocampus actually is like a computer. It does do frequencies, and certain frequencies uh, will do damage to your brain, and I want to prove that. So I'm trying to get my channel up to 1,000 subscribers, so I can start not only getting um, the full effects of YouTube. I can take my other videos like building stealth campers, teardrop campers, and stuff, and monetize those. And then I will also do live videos of me traveling around investigating Walmarts and these antennas and the effects. Like in one city, they just declared, well, what city was it? Columbus, Ohio is the first city in the United States that they declared in the world as a smart city. And that was back in 2016. And it was a 3-year project for Columbus, Ohio. And so you don't need a cell phone. Once they get the whole system up, what 5G is, I'm going to explain it to you guys right now, is what they call the beast. Not the fanatics saying, oh, this is the end of the world, that's the beast. Not that kind of beast. It's just the name for the system of the technology. The beast could use it when he comes on scene, but what it is, one is for population control. Two is it is appealing to make the internet faster, like 100. I think it's 1,000 milliseconds above 4G. So that means to talk to somebody on the other side of the world, the hesitation from the distance, unless it's line of sight from satellite, and then going down to the other side of the world, which pretty well much was 4G. That's called line of sight all the way around the world of satellites. And that's how you can talk to your family, live video through Wi-Fi. But 5G is more than that. You can just walk down a street. You don't need a cell phone, and pretty well much go anywhere and just say, I want Uber, and an Uber will come and find you, and you don't have no cell phone. That's what 5G is. You can't go into a store without being recognized by face recognition. And what it does is 5G, the way it's built, is every camera in the world can be connected, and the 5G can handle that much data from everybody, and then it'll take anywhere your face goes, it tracks you. That's what 5G does. It tracks you. And it's not just the technology of having a faster internet, which the 5G antennas had to go up first. They started this in 2012, putting up 5G in other parts of the world and certain places. And then it just grew and caught on. And actually 5G was created before 1980. I don't know how soon before 1980, but the 5G was a weapon back then. and it was being tested at Fort Benning, Georgia. And it's a big round thing that looks that they can aim it, and it's for crowd control. And when they back then they could only get it up to like 250 megahertz or gigahertz. Now they can get it over 800 gigahertz. And also from the satellites that's doing 5G, they can up it up to about 2,000 gigahertz using the sun for power. So what does that do? They could actually aim that somewhere and direct it to start maybe a forest fire. So, but 5G tells on itself, but they're not letting the people know. And the way you can test this theory is go look at the videos of when California had that last big fire. I can't remember exactly when. And everything was, when they was doing the videos, they couldn't figure out why certain things didn't burn and a lot of things burnt. Some kinds of green life would not burn because it was resilient. But everything that burnt, instead of being black charcoal like a house catching on fire, you know how that black charcoal is all over the place? Or if you're even with your campfires, anything that burns always turn to black charcoal. But in one perfect circle in California, somebody was videoing it, and they got a drone or they were in a helicopter, I forget which. And a perfect circle was white ash like snow. And that's what 5G does. If they hit a spot, it will turn white. Everything that's burnt is not going to be black charcoal. It's going to be pure white. Check that out. See if I'm lying or not. And that's strange. And you know what? The firemen that was there, they couldn't understand that either. The biggest word that the media would ever come out trying to cover it all up was some kind of phenomenon for that area that caught on fire in California. And then the other fire, I believe, was caused by terrorists by getting into our computer system at a power plant and sent a surge of electricity, and it blew up one of those oil-cooled transformers, and it caught grass on fire, and they had a big old fire over that. And they tried to cover that up, but some of the people that reported on it was able to get videos up and on the news channel. Do any of you remember that? Has anybody ever really looked at those fires closely from California? I mean, the last big ones, say the last 3 big ones, and it was just in certain spots of California. But what they did was it got out of control and it grew to ungodly amounts of forest, and everything burnt towns. I can't remember. I'm gonna have to go and research that again. What is that noise? Girl, if you hear something, you better bark. I think a deer is in my woods to the side of my church and my house. I live right here until I go and go off grid. I'll be living in this van. Y'all know I was living in a pop-up camper. Well, the pop-up camper is no more. The parts of the pop-up camper is coming into the van, and the back of the van is actually my pop-out now, so I can have the whole van to put my furniture, if you want to call it, water tanks and sink and stove, everything will come in here now that I have all the room. And then when I slide my bed in, the bed goes over the top of the furniture. So I can sleep inside or I can pop it out. But I'm taking the canvas off the pop-up camper and I'm going to cut it in half and custom fit it for the back of my van. And then right here on this rail, I'll put a seal and use self tappers all the way around to seal it so rain and water don't come in when I got it open. And then it'll be just like on a Coleman pop-up camper, just a lot smaller. So I figured on all of Bob's videos, nobody's done it. And to the best of my knowledge, I'm the only one that's ever made a pop-out on a 2500 series Chevy van. And I give myself a pat on my back. Nobody's here to give me a pat on the back. I did pretty good because it's working. If it was daylight, I'll wait until it's finished and then I'll put the video up as my part 4 or part 5 video of the series of me building this so other people can get some good ideas. So anybody out there like camping or thinking about going off the grid and or anything, and how to have as much power as you want for electricity and not have to really plug up to shore power unless you want to. I'm fixing this up because I've got a garage that is 17 feet wide, 12 feet tall, and 35 feet long that I'll be bringing with me. And it'll go with me everywhere I go. But when I compact it, it's about 4 feet wide, 3 feet in a diameter circle when I fold the garage up. It's actually a professional paint booth. It's just I got an oversized one so I could drive campers in there and do work on people's campers or do welding or fix their cars or vehicles that are broken down at campgrounds. Like if you all watched that live video, the girl that was having problem with wolves, and she was out in that forest, and we haven't heard from her since. We still haven't heard from that girl. What was her name? Lisa? No, Letitia. It was either Letitia or Lisa. And Lisa ain't been on tonight. That's strange. Or unless she's the one missing. So I need to go back to her channel. She's living in a forest too and was having a similar problem. And she's living in a tent. The other girl was in a pop-up. And I do survival while I'm training. Teach people how to build a campfire even when it's pouring down rain. You know, just basic things to make it easy on people who are living in tents and campers. When I lived in Tent City, I used to teach people rocks. You got to know your rocks. You got to know what type of rocks. You got to know if they're sand rocks or limestone rocks, granite rocks. You got to know which kind of rocks that you can charge and heat them. And then you build the size of your sleeping bag. You dig down like 6 inches and make it nice and flat hole. Put the dirt off to the side. And I teach people how to heat the rocks and then how to get the rocks into the hole without burning themselves because they get really super hot. And then how to put the dirt back over it so you got nice cushion, and then put your tent back over that, and the dirt will get really toasty warm and not burn your tent or your sleeping bag or your bedroll or whatever you want to call it. And it'll keep your tent, if it's 30 degrees outside, it'll keep your tent about 75 degrees for about 2 days. And then 2 days after that, it'll be around 50. So about every 3 or 4 days, you got to recharge your rocks. Anybody interested in that kind of stuff? subscribe, because I teach that, and I'll be demonstrating that when I go out into the field and start doing live broadcast from the inside of the van or outside of the van, if I'm whether I'm investigating Walmarts or cell phone towers or 5G and everything. I think I have a pretty good content if I'm doing that, because a lot of people is saying, where did I come up with this kind of knowledge and stuff, man? I'm ex-military, and like I'm pushing 60 years old, so I've lived through a lot of history. I started out when I was 8 years old fixing tube TVs. If you can remember, the TVs used to have tubes in them. And I used to do that for people. I was just always into that kind of stuff when I was about 8 years old. 61? Probably around 1967 or 1968. And I actually made a surround sound system in 1974, before they were ever invented. Okay, I gotta keep remembering to read that little fine print, and I'm sorry I didn't get to that just yet. Okay, the roads are very curvy. It's doing pretty good. I haven't really looked into it. Remember the fires. You do remember the fires. There's one. I'll try to find it, and if I find it, I'll give you guys the URL or send you my video of that fire that was all white, snow white ash and almost a perfect diameter circle. I forget how many acres it was within that circle. And what was strange is, why do some things burn and other things that should have burned, like trees, didn't burn? That's what made me strange. And you know what can do that? I'll go ahead and spill the beans before I even put the video up. Microwave. That's what it can do. And the military has a directional microwave for like World War III, I guess, because it can fry people, cook them from the inside out, just like a microwave in your house can do. And they can get it up over 800 megahertz now. Back in 1980, they didn't have lithium batteries and things like that to get that kind of power out of an all directional microwave. But if you want to see them, watch the movie called The Hawk. When they're doing the Hollywood, what do they call that? Effects. The effects is fake, but the machine and the Army SUVs, those are real, because they paid the military to use them for their movie. And that machine is real, and it was real in 1980. What year is this? 2020? Think about that. I just got a text. Somebody's texting me. Hold on a minute. Sorry, missed your video. Doing yard work. Relax for a few. Just showered. Okay. Well, I'm on live, but I'm not going to be on too much longer. Send me that video link. Got to get my chainsaw out tomorrow. Okay. Well, that's good, brother. Sorry about that. Years ago, I gave out my number, and I almost wish I hadn't, because I get texts, I get emails about this or that. Somebody would be sending me a video. They're too scared to upload the video. Would I do it? And that's how I get all this mail. And sometimes it keeps me awake if I don't shut all my electronics off. But I was going to change the number and not give out my number and my email anymore. But somebody told me that where they live is, and they watch me, and they've been one of my subscribers, this family, since 2012. So I don't want to cut them off because they are off grid, and they've been loyal to me even after I had my heart attack and then my 2 strokes. And so what I'm going to do is, once I get this all fixed and built and I go on the road, we're going to do 2-way live streaming. So you can talk to me, I can talk to you, and everybody who's on the channel can listen to both of us. I can only do that one-on-one. The only thing you can do multi is live chat. And I'm trying to see if I could program the hardcore way to embed into my live channel live streaming where I can split the screen in little squares, and then I could have maybe 10 to 20 people live on the video. So right now it's a big headache to try to get into that kind of programming again, but I'm thinking about doing that. I think it would be pretty cool and probably build my channel up and maybe even start getting some donations again. And then I can get that kind of equipment to go around and be like an amateur reporter or whatever you might want to call it. Me, I just call it truth YouTubers. And I'm going to become an affiliate with this kind of shirt. If you can see it, you all see it on my intros now. And this will be a way of identification so that we know who we are if the internet shut it down. And then we can talk about amongst ourselves, without being away from 5G or the government or the what do they call it, one world government that's probably coming pretty soon. Just it's just around the corner. It's pretty close now. I mean, they're just locking everybody down, like Sweden. I think it was Sweden. I might not be right on the country. I have to go back and watch that news thing broadcast from, I think it was Sweden. They just said that their 5G network for the whole country is done, and now the coronavirus is dying down, and they're going to open up their country again just because 5G is done. But they had the whole country locked down while there was mass putting up these 5Gs everywhere. And that's what they're doing here now. The one behind my house or camper, they just put that up a few days ago. And now I got dead birds all over my yard. They're everywhere. Oh my goodness. I wonder what it's doing to my brain. I did do a test. You might think this is crazy, and you might think this is interesting, or maybe you want to experiment yourself. Tinfoil will repel it. I know, you're laughing at me right now, right? Remember that Twilight Zone movie? The guy put the tinfoil hat on his head. Anyway, it can't be just any tinfoil. Reynolds Wrap is probably the best tinfoil they put out that has it's more metal based than these cheap generic tinfoils. And it does repel it up to a certain megahertz, up to about 400 megahertz. Anything over 400 megahertz you would probably lay down, quit tearing up my wires. So anything over, I would say on the safe side, 300 megahertz and above, you'd probably need about 3 inches of a tinfoil to repel it. And it has to be a really good metal-based flexible tinfoil. It will repel it. But anything over 300 megahertz will also heat up. Tinfoil will heat up. It's like putting it on your barbecue grill. But it also cools down super fast. So when you're taking, your barbecue chicken, and you open the lid, within about 10-15 seconds, the tinfoil cools off fast enough that you can pick it up with your hands and put it on the tray, and the tinfoil will cool off fast. But it's the same method that will repel up to at least 300 megahertz. And the guy that let me borrow his equipment, it was limited. It was cheap stuff, and I could only go up to 300 megahertz on his system. So what I want is I want a frequency splitter, and also an oscilloscope, and that way when I get up to an antenna, I can have my antennas on top of my roof, and I can drive right up and be like stealth, because a lot of people think these white Chevy vans are construction vans, or they work for the government, and I will use vinyl lettering to change the letterings on my side, and be kind of like I don't know, can't think of the word. There's a certain word for that. But I'd be inconspicuous, as I'm driving by. I mean, if I sat there, maybe somebody will come up and knock on the door. Hey, what are you doing sitting here? Or something. But as I'm driving by, I could record the frequencies from these antennas and see how many, what the frequency is exactly they're using, and check out the megahertz, how much power they're putting through. I'm interested in the tower they just put up behind me. You might be able to see the lights way back there. It looks like to me, from this point of view, they built the 5G antenna on top of the water tower. Now, I'm going to probably tomorrow or the next day, after the people that's putting it up is not there, I want to go up there and take a look at this tower, and I'll try to videotape it. And that's why I think all the birds just dropped all over my yard. I got to clean up that mess tomorrow. Too many birds died. And a strange thing is, my cats, I got cats, they're not even wanting to eat the birds. Last year, they would go and catch a bird and they would eat it. All of my cats would eat the birds, but they're not eating the birds now for some reason. I even started my cats for 2 days to see if they would eat these birds, and they're not. I think that thing went up like 2 nights or 3 nights ago. So, and the birds, I noticed one bird yesterday that fell out of the sky and landed beside my pop-up camper, and it fell about 3 feet from me. It could have hit me in the head. And then today, I noticed there's about 15 dead birds. They're just falling out of the sky. I mean, they're flying and they die while they're flying. That's too many birds dying all of a sudden. And it never had that problem, my own personal opinion, I know it's that 5G antenna behind me. I'll videotape the birds tomorrow. You want me to? I mean, it's ugly. It's gross. If you want me to, I'll videotape and show you the birds in my yard. Do you guys want me to do that? I'll use my little action cam and just walk around and show you all the birds. I got to pick them up, put them in the trash can or something. I don't want them stinking up my, you know how something dies out in the woods or something, you know that smell? I don't want that to start. I hate that smell. What time is it? I was thinking it was like 1 o'clock. It's only 11 o'clock. So I actually came on earlier than my usual time. We got 4 people in here. Are you still with? Okay, yep, you're still with me. Okay, Dustin, I'll make a video tomorrow, and where the birds are laying in my yard, and I'll show it. I'm too far away to really for that camera to do any justice to show that antenna. And from where I am, I say it's right at 1 mile away. Just judging. I don't have an azimuth compass. I used to have one when I got out of the military, but somewhere along the line, moving here and there and being homeless, I lost my azimuth compass, but I need to buy one. So anybody, I'll probably try to find one on eBay, get a real azimuth compass. Have any of you heard of that before? Does it know what an azimuth compass is? Anybody know how to use an azimuth compass? It's one thing to have it, but do you know how to use it? That's how I got my medal from Ronald Reagan back in 1980. He was mad at the military. He said the military ain't trained right. So he made everybody go through a proficiency test, the whole military. And out of the whole 293rd Infantry, I was the only one that tested expert and got the EIB medal. And that was under the Ronald Reagan administration. I was just a kid in the military. I joined in high school, and in my high school, in the state I lived, you had to graduate with 36 credits, but I graduated with 56 credits and got to graduate early. And on my senior year, I only had to go to school a half a day for a half a year because unless I wanted to get more credits, but they didn't have anything that I wanted to learn and get more credits on. I took just about everything under the sun. Okay. Well, we're up to 4 people now. Hi. Excuse me. Please drop us a line. Well, we're back down to 3. They didn't stay very long. When people pop in the middle, they don't know what we're talking about. And just, I don't want to say the word. We're just in here, what? Bull crapping? Just having a little time, having a beer. I don't drink. Well, everybody, I think I should wind this down. I'm sleeping outside on my slider bed tonight. My first night in my bed that I built that slides in and out. It's an indoor-outdoor bed. You ever hear of that before? Bob's going to really love this setup. But I used to build teardrop campers, runaway campers, custom campers. I used to redesign sleeper berths for truckers, and I did. That was the first job I did after I quit working for a factory, making them rich, and them paying me minimum wage, and they're getting like $13,000 to $14,000 for a camper that I built. I said, what's wrong with this picture? So now, and I need $31,000 to go home and be with my family in the Philippines because they got it a lot worse than I do here. Durante, he's the president. He don't have the kind of money the United States does to give out any checks like the United States has done. And a lot of people, including my family, are almost just completely out of food. So if I build campers and stuff, I can come to you and build the camper. And right there, I can live. My house is right here. I have my garage behind me. Or if you got a school bus or another camper that you want remodeled and built the way you want it inside to change the floor plan. That's what I do. I worked for Palm Arbor Mobile Homes. I used to build house trailers. I was a interior designer for kitchens and entertainment centers and walk-in closets type stuff with Lazy Susie's in it, so you could spin it around and get your shoes and stuff. That's what I did. And why should I make them rich when I could do it by myself? Might be just a little hard getting started, but I got my garage I bring with me. If you got a school bus, we just drive it in my garage. I just bring it to your house. If anybody's interested in maybe me showing up at your house, all I need a place to do is boondock. Or I'm in a stealth van, so I can park in the driveway. Nobody even know it's a house inside, a mini house. That's what I'm really doing, is building this into a mini house. The outside's going to be stealth. And it'll be like, I can go live anywhere and park anywhere. And I can check out these antennas in Walmart and do some live footage for my subscribers. So maybe you got a place that you might say, hey, this Walmart over here is just converted and got prison fence around it, and there's strange things there. I can drive there and go right up in there, and I'll take the chances. I mean, I've lived enough life for 5 80-year-olds. So, if they want to do something to me, they can just throw me in a septic tank and be done with me. But I'll put those videos up. I'll drive right. Maybe you got a campground you want to check out, but you can't just let your family go camping there to check it out. I'll go and check it out, video it, tell you, okay, is this campground's worth it for you to go there? Maybe you want to go to Arizona or Alaska. I'll go there for you. Because I'm at the end of my life. If I can't be with my family until I make the money, I'm going on the road. And you see what I'm building. And I can come to your house and build you a camper if that's what you want. I'll bring my welding equipment. I can make it out of wood. I can make it out of aluminum or steel. I can just about make anything under the sun for you. And I can reverse engineer things to have multi-purposes, like I just did with this bed and a flip-out couch. So I still have the full length of my van that I can add other stuff. And I still have storage under my couch. And the bed slides out. It's probably the first van ever done. I watched Bob's videos, and they always build everything inside permanent. And when it's permanent, you're stuck with that, and you can't change things around or do reverse engineering. Not a lot of people can really, comprehend reverse engineering. It's just a lot of people nowadays. These schools don't teach um, geometry or the kind of mathematics or whatever to be able to make something like this with sliders. And here in a few days, I'm going to build the tarp like it would be on a pop-up camper, and I'll have my windows and everything. And I still got my whole floor, as you all saw at the beginning of the build. I still got, I say it's about 10 feet long. This is the long 2500 series van. And then to my cage up there that has a door so I can get in and out. I say it's about 10 feet without getting the measuring tape out. And I'll have a sink in here, hot and cold running water. I'll have a refrigerator. I'll have a bathroom and shower in here. And the only thing I might do is cut the top off and put a pop-up on the top. And if I can find the right hydraulic pistons that works by air, not hydraulic, but air pistons, where I can synchronize in series all the way around so that I can put a small air pump on it. And all I got to do is unlatch it just like you would a pop-up camper and push a button, and then the whole top goes up. So I don't have to worry about it. And then I'll still use the roof that I cut out as my roof on the top of the pop-up. I can engineer that. I mean, and a lot of people would like the same thing with their vans. A lot of people do that when they buy a pool camper. A lot of people go to a place, and for about 10 grand, they get the whole top of their camper done so it pops up. Only they do it the old-fashioned way with the old crank thing, just like the old pop-up campers. Me, I'm too old. I want to push a button. Like the NASCAR drivers, buses. You ever watch NASCAR? Some of those buses got those air pistons, and whole rooms pop out on those buses. It's cool. The only difference mine is I'm building mine out of scrap. I don't have no money to buy this stuff. So I'm engineering this stuff with scrap. And wait till you see it when I'm finished, after you saw what you saw today. I'm rambling now. I'm just so excited that I can't wait to get this all done and then get my first job out there. When I put it out live on Facebook or something and somebody orders a teardrop, and then I can go to wherever they're at. There's one guy in Washington that wants me to come out there and build him a teardrop, but I made him a runaway camper. And if you bought it from the factory, they were wanting like 15,000. I built him one, and I did it, and for only about 8,000, I think it was 8,000, 1,100, maybe 8,200, and he still has it to this very day. And I made that back in 2012, and it still looks new because I use certain things that never rust or corrode for the skin. And if it don't corrode or leak, nothing inside ever goes bad. It's a maintenance-free, 100% maintenance-free camper. The only thing he has to do to it is put grease into his axle bearings about every year, at least once. Well, guys, I think it's getting close to 11:30. So I'll try to pop in here more often. A lot of people have been saying, "Where did they take me down, or am I going to come back?" They've been wanting me to come back. Lisa, Lutetia, the girls that are living out in the forest. Um, except one of them disappeared when she was having wolf problems. I can't remember if it was Lisa or Lutetia. And then I have a cousin, Lutetia. She comes in here every now and then. And then a bunch of people will come in here and ask me about Cody. I don't do Cody no more. Cody is so much obsolete now. What I do is I build USB sticks and program them so you can get over 2,000 channels and watch any movie you want. And if they want Kodi on it, I can still put Kodi on it, but I got other programs way better than Kodi. So I'm thinking about doing that to make some side money and then sell the USB sticks. And and I like to use the USB sticks because when you use an XBM box or a Fire Stick, they're always constantly buffing all the time, and you're sitting there with your girlfriend and your wife, and you're trying to watch a movie, and then for about 4 minutes you see that circle until it comes back on. With my USB sticks and the way I program and the resources and providers, I pick the best ones and program it, and then I'll sell those sticks probably for about $80 a stick. So, well, I'm not really going to put no tags on this video. So if somebody runs across it and wants to watch it, I might tomorrow put some tags on it. But I think I'm going to relax, let my dog get outside on the bed, and we'll relax on the couch and watch one of my free movies. I get thousands of them. I haven't paid for cable or satellite since 2016. And I watch everything, anything, and everything. So, anybody got anything to say before I go? If you haven't given me a thumbs up, please give me one. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe because I'm kind of like between two sides. I'm doing the off-grid thing and what you call a van build. And I used to do this professionally. It's just that I'm doing this the hard way now for my personal self because I only have about $140 I can live on out of my disability check. So if anybody's got questions or if I turn this off now, when it goes live here in a few minutes, or not live, but as a regular video, you can go down below and leave actual comments below if you like. I just see Dustin. Have a good night. Thank you, Dustin. Hope to see you again. Either tomorrow night about the same time or maybe 10ish. I usually try to be on by 10, but I was late working on this van build. But maybe tomorrow at 10 o'clock. But I will probably do the video you want me to do with all the dead birds in my yard from that antenna, 5G antenna. And I think a possum died, but I really couldn't tell. I don't think the 5G killed the possum. I think it had dementia and a raccoon over here in the woods. For some reason, the game warden says a lot of the wild animals like deers, not coyotes, not foxes either. I can't even remember the name. And raccoons and possums and stuff suddenly started getting dementia, and they're having a countywide problem with it. So I don't know what that's about, but I know the birds, they suddenly just fallen out of the sky So I'll video that tomorrow for you and upload it as a regular video. And I'm going to subscribe to you either tonight or in the morning when I wake up. Okay? Is that okay with you, Dustin? I need to make my throat wet again. Yeah, I'm doing that for you. And you're the only one who's been chatting with me all night. I mean, people have been popping in and out. So, and so I'll do that video especially for you, but it'll be uploaded. And I'll tag that one so everybody can see it. So I'll make sure the tags are on that one, okay? I don't know what time I'm going to get to the antenna though, because I don't want to be there with all those people that's working on it. I want to wait until they're done and gone, so I'm inconspicuous later, because I think I saw a couple of UN trucks around it. Okay, Dustin. And the other ones, I see we got people in here, but nobody's really introducing themselves. But they can come back and watch the beginning where we were actually talking about the main content. And then we got onto the van and the stealth mode and how I'm going to start going and investigating these Walmarts and 5G antennas if I can get the equipment. So I'm going to call it a good night. And thank you for all being here. And I'll give it about 30 to 60 seconds to see if the other people that's in here have any questions or anything. And then I will call it a night. I'm going to kind of relax now after a hard day's work and sit back on my couch and maybe watch a movie. Sounds like a plan. Oh, and I got some snacks. So I'm going to become a couch potato now. So, okay. At 1:38, I'm cutting it off. All right, girl, I'll let you up here on your bed in a minute. I know you've been waiting patiently. Okay, everybody, good night. God bless you. And I pray for all my subscribers every night. Bye-bye. Well, turn off. Don't tell me you're stuck. Oh, finally. It's not wanting to turn off. Oh, there it is. It's lagging on me.